In the previous Sarga, we saw the sacred preparations for the mighty Aśvamedha Yajña begin in earnest. We reflected briefly upon Agni, revered in the Vedic world not merely as physical fire, but as a sacred and living presence through whom offerings were carried to the Devatas. We saw how Yajña and Agni stand at the very foundations of Sanatana Dharma. And amidst the sacred chants and solemn rituals, the Ashva of Daśaratha was released. For an entire year, the sacred Ashva wandered through distant lands, guarded by the warriors of Ayodhyā, while Daśaratha remained firmly committed to the immense vows and disciplines associated with the Yajña. A full year had now passed. The Ashva had returned, and the great Yajña was ready to enter its next monumental phase. In this Sarga, we shall witness the astonishing scale of preparations undertaken for the Yajña. We shall hear of vast constructions, magnificent dwellings, sacrificial architecture, the arrival of kings from distant lands, and the extraordinary hospitality extended to guests from every section of the society. We shall also witness a timeless ideal deeply cherished in Bharatavarša. Atithi Devo Bhava. May the guest be treated as divine. And through these preparations, Vālmīki Maharshi gives us a rare glimpse into the grandeur, refinement, and sacred order of the Vedic civilization itself. Let us now hear Vālmīki Maharshi narrate further. Punaha prapte vasante tu purnaha sanvatsaro bhavat prasavartham gato yashthum heiyamedhena viryavan abhivadya vasishtam cha nyayatah pratipujya cha abravit prashritam vakyam prasavartham dvijottamam yagyo me kriyatam brahman yathoktam munipungava yathana vignaha kriyante yagyam geshu vidhiyatam Bhavan snigdaha suhrun mahyam guruscha paramo mahan vodavyo bhavata chaiva bharo yagyasya chodhyataha tatheti cha sarajanam abravid dvijasatamaha karishye sarvame vaitad bhavata yat samarthitam tato bravid dvijan vruddhan yagya karma sunishtitan sthapatye nishtitam chaiva vruddhan paramadharmikan Karmantikan shilpakaran vartakin khanakan api ganakan shilpinaschaiva tathaiva natanartakan tatha shuchin shastravidaha purushan supahushrutan yagya karma samihantam bhavanto rajasasanat ishtaka bahusahastri shikramaniyyatamiti upakaryaha kriyantam cha ragyo bahugunanvitaha Brahmana vasathaschaiva kartavyaha shatashaha shubhaha bhakshyan panair bahubihi samupetaha sunishtitaha tatha paurajanasyapi kartavyashashu vistaraha agatanam suduracha पार्थिवानां पृथक् पृथक्। वाजिवारणशालाश्च तथा शय्यागृहाणि च भटानां महदावासा वैदेशिका निवासिनाम्। आवास बहुभक्ष्या वै सर्वकामैरूपस्थिता तथा पौरजनस्यापि जनस्य बहुशोभनम्। दातव्यमन्नं विधिवत् सत्कृत्य न तु लीलया सर्वे वर्णा यथा पूजां प्राप्नुवन्ति सुसत्कृताः। न चावज्ञप्रयोक्तव्या कामक्रोधवशादपि यज्ञकर्मसु ये व्यग्राः पुरुषाः शिल्पिनस्तथा। तेषामपि विशेषेण पूजाकार्या यथाक्रमं ये स्युः सम्पूजिताः सर्वे वसुभिर्भोजनेन च। यथा सर्वं सुविहितं न किञ्चित् परिहीयते तथा भवन्तः कुर्वन्तु प्रतियुक्तेन चेतसा। ततः सर्वे समागम्य वसिष्ठमिदमब्रुवन् यथेष्टं तत्सुविहितं न किञ्चित् परिहीयते। यथोक्तं तत् करिष्यामो न किञ्चित् परिहास्यते। ततः सुमन्त्रमाहूय वसिष्ठो वाक्यमब्रवीत्। निमन्त्रयस्व नृपतीन् पृथिव्यां ये च धार्मिकाः ब्राह्मणान् क्षत्रियान् वैश्यान् शूद्रांश्चैव सहस्रशः। समानयस्व सत्कृत्य सर्वदेषु मानवान् मिथिलाधिपतिं शूरं जनकं सत्यवादिनम्। तमानय महाभागं स्वयमेव सुसत्कृतं पूर्वं सम्बन्धिनं ज्ञात्वा ततः पूर्वं ब्रवीमि ते। तथा काशीपतिं स्निग्धं सततं प्रियवादिनं सद्वृत्तं देवसङ्काशं स्वयमेव आनयस्वः। तथा केकेयराजानं वृद्धं परमधार्मिकं श्वशुरं राजसिंहस्य सपुत्रं तमिहानय। अंगेश्वरं महेश्वासं रोमपादं सुसत्कृतं वयस्यं राजसिंहस्य सपुत्रं तमिहानय। तथा कोशलराजानं भानुमन्तं सुसत्कृतं मगधाधिपतिं शूरं सर्वशास्त्रविशारदम्। प्राप्तिज्ञं परमोदारं सत्कृतं पुरुषर्षभं राज्ञः शासनमादाय चोदयस्व नृपर्षभान्। प्राचीनान् सिन्धुसौवीरान् सौराष्ट्रेयांश्च पार्थिवान्। दाक्षिणात्यान् नरेन्द्राश्च समस्तान् आनयस्वः सन्ति स्निग्धाश्च ये चान्ये राजानः पृथिवीतले। तानानय यथा क्षिप्रं सानुगान् सह बान्धवान् एतान् दूतैर्महाभागैर् आनयस्व नृपाज्ञया। वसिष्ठवाक्यं तच्छ्रुत्वा सुमन्त्रस्त्वरितं तदा व्यादिशत् पुरुषांस्तत्र राज्ञाम् आनयने शुभाम्। स्वयमेव हि धर्मात्मा प्रयातो मुनिशासनात् सुमन्त्रस्त्वरितो भूत्वा समानेतुं महामतिः। ते च कर्मान्तिकाः सर्वे वसिष्ठाय महर्षये सर्वं निवेदयन्ति स्म यज्ञे यदुपकल्पितम्। ततः प्रीतो द्विजश्रेष्ठस्तान् सर्वान् मुनिरब्रवीत् अवज्ञा न दातव्यं कस्यचिल्लीलयापि वा। अवज्ञाकृतं हन्यात् दातारं नात्र संशयः। ततः कैश्चित् अहोरात्रैर् उपयाता महीक्षितः। बहूनि रत्नान्य आदाय राज्ञो दशरथस्य ततो वसिष्ठः सुप्रीतो राजानामिदमब्रवीत्। उपयाता नरव्याघ्र राजानस्तव शासनात् मयापि सत्कृताः सर्वे यथार्हं राजसत्तम। यज्ञियं च कृतं सर्वं पुरुषैः सुसमाहितैः निर्यातु च भवान् यष्ठुं यज्ञायतनमन्तिकात्। सर्वकामैरुपर्हितैरूपेतं वै समन्ततः द्रष्टुमर्हसि राजेन्द्र मनसेव विनिर्मितम्। तथा वसिष्ठवचनात् ऋष्यशृङ्गस्य चोभयोः दिवसे शुभनक्षत्रे निर्यातो जगतीपतिः। Tato Vasiṣṭha Pramukhaha Sarva Eva Dvijottamaha Ṛśyaśṛṅgam Puraskritya Yajña Karmārbharam Stata Yajñavatam Gataha Sarve Yatha Shastram Yatha Vidhi Śrīmānscha Sahapatnibhi Raja Diksha Upamishat. An entire year had passed since the consecrated horse of Emperor Daśaratha had been released. For an entire year, the sacred Aśva of the mighty Aśvamedha Yajña had wandered through the vastness of the Bharatvarsha, guarded constantly by the warriors of Ayodhyā. The Aśva traveled through colossal forests, along the mighty rivers that nourished civilizations, across mountain routes and elevated pathways, past flourishing villages, fertile lands, and the kingdoms of many rulers. And before finally, after a full sacred year, the Aśva returned once again to the capital of the Ikshvaku dynasty, and firmly resolved to accomplish the mighty Aśvamedha Yajña precisely according to the injunctions of the Shastras, Daśaratha approached his Kulaguru Vasiṣṭha Maharshi. The Kalpa Sutras declare Samvatsarante Diksheta. At the end of the year, one should undertake the consecration. And thus, having completed the sacred observances associated with the Yajña, Daśaratha approached the Maharshi with reverence. And according to custom, Daśaratha first worshipped Vasiṣṭha Maharshi. And only thereafter did Daśaratha speak. And he said, O Brahmana, O foremost amongst the Munis, guide me in accomplishing this mighty Aśvamedha Yajña. May this arduous undertaking be completed exactly according to the Shastras, without defect and without obstruction from the learned Brahmarakshasas. O Maharshi, you are my well-wisher, my supreme preceptor, and an exalted soul. The entire burden of this sacrifice rests upon you alone. And thus, hearing the words of the emperor, Vasiṣṭha Maharshi replied. He said, Tathastu, O Rajan, all that you have sought shall be indeed accomplished. And thereupon, the venerable Maharshi began organizing the vast preparations required for the mighty Aśvamedha Yajña. And Ayodhyā itself began transforming. Streams of elephants carrying colossal marble slabs entered the sacred capital of Ayodhyā. Artisans, architects, sculptors, excavators, astronomers, actors, dancers, and scholars from many lands gathered under the command of Vasiṣṭha Maharshi. The Maharshi instructed them, undertake your respective duties connected with the Aśvamedha Yajña under the command of His Majesty. Let magnificent palaces be constructed, furnished abundantly with every desirable object. Let spacious dwellings be prepared for the Brahmanas. Let residences and wells be prepared for citizens and visitors alike. Let separate mansions be built for the many kings expected to arrive from distant kingdoms. Let no disrespect be shown to anyone, even in moments of fatigue, anger, or agitation. Show honor to all those engaged in the sacred work. And thus, under the direction of Vasiṣṭha Maharshi, Ayodhyā began preparing to receive the world. And thereafter, Vasiṣṭha Maharshi summoned Sumantra, and he said, invite the kings of this earth, gather honorable men from every land and receive them with reverence. And thus Sumantra departed, not merely as a messenger, but as the emissary of Ayodhyā itself. And Sumantra travelled across the vastness of the Bharatavarsha. He journeyed from kingdom to kingdom, to Mithila, where ruled the celebrated King Janaka, truthful, heroic, and a Rajarshi. To the sacred kingdom of Kashi, renowned for its refinement and noble conduct. To Kaikeyi, the aged and celebrated ruler of the Kaikeyas, the father-in-law of Daśaratha. To Anga, where ruled Romapada, the friend and ally of Daśaratha. To Bhanuman, the ruler of Koshala, and to the mighty kingdom of Magadha, ruled by the noble and learned Praptignya. And as the days passed, Ayodhyā transformed into a sacred imperial city unlike any upon earth. Kings began arriving from distant kingdoms, bringing with them jewels, pearls, ornaments, garments, elephants, horses, and countless precious offerings. Magnificent guest mansions rose throughout the city. Marble avenues shivered beneath silk banners of countless colors. Lotus ponds, flowing water channels, and sacred courtyards spread throughout the ceremonial districts. And around the sacred Yajña Mandapam itself, vast celestial terraces and elevated pavilions were prepared, as though even the Devatas themselves might descend to witness the Yajña. Everywhere there was movement, but nowhere was there disorder, for all of Ayodhyā moved with a single purpose. And at last, the sacred Yajña Mandapam itself stood completed. An immense sacred hall of white glistening marble, adorned with gold, precious stones, and sacred geometry, and colossal ceremonial platforms. Vast terraces prepared for kings, maharshis, and the devatas. Lotus-filled waters reflecting the pillars that rose towards the heavens. And at its sacred center, the great Yajña Kunda itself, waiting. Vasiṣṭha Maharshi then addressed Daśaratha, and he said, "O Rajan, all the kings have arrived according to your command. Everything connected with the Yajña has now been prepared with great care. Therefore, proceed now to the Yajña Mandapam. Behold this magnificent hall, furnished on every side with every desirable object, appearing almost as though brought forth merely by your wish. And thereupon, on an auspicious day marked by a sacred constellation, Daśaratha proceeded towards the Yajñashala, Ṛśyaśṛṅga Maharshi walking at the forefront. And all the assembled Brahmanas, led by Vasiṣṭha Maharshi himself, commenced the sacred Yajña, precisely according to the injunctions of the Shastras. And the glorious Daśaratha, together with his queens, underwent the Diksha in preparation for the mighty Yajña.